You guys, I just spent like an hour trying to make like a TikTok transition and it turned out shitty. Okay, anyway, hi. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Sasha. Today is gonna be kind of like a story time slash tutorial about becoming a sugar baby. I'll just start talking, I guess. I decided to become a sugar baby. I did this because I saw some videos on YouTube. It kind of intrigued me and I was like, what is this? I made an account on Seeking Arrangements. I think it's just seeking.com right now. I just went on there, started talking to guys. Let's first talk about your sugar baby profile. Actually, the very first thing that you should do, figure out your fake name and then make a fake email address to go with that. Just make like a Gmail email address or whatever. And then you can make your profile using that email. Your profile is important. My very first profile, I had good pictures, but I didn't really have a good description. I went into Seeking Arrangements not as like a serious thing. Like, I'm not serious about being a sugar baby. I just wanted to try it, see if I could get some money, see if I could like basically check it off my list. Like, yeah, I did that. I did end up making some money off of Seeking, and then once I made a little money, I like quit doing it. It just takes too much time. So there's two like approaches you can take to this. Like, you can just do it for fun like I did and decide to be a cyber sugar baby, which basically means that you know you're never gonna meet up with them. After like going through the coronavirus, like lockdown and stuff, being a cyber sugar baby is a lot harder than you may think, because so many girls try to do it that a lot of the guys are going to be savvy of like different methods that girls have tried to use to finesse them to give them money or whatever. If you're gonna do the cyber route where you never meet them, it's gonna take some practice. You have to be like skilled when it comes to your mouth and your finesse, because they're hesitant to send you money without meeting you. You can tell a lot of them have already been finessed, whatever. Or you could be like a little more serious about being a sugar baby and you could be someone that meets up with them, I don't know, a couple times a month, and you have like an allowance. Obviously, I don't really recommend because it's probably not the safest, but if you're serious about being a sugar baby, a lot of the guys want to meet you before they give you any sort of money. They have already given money to some girl online without meeting her, and then they never talk to her again or whatever. You could go either route. I knew that I just wanted to do cyber and I never wanted to meet these people. Your profile needs to have good pictures. I'm not saying that you have to be the most gorgeous girl on the planet, but you need to have good pictures so that you can attract. Pictures from Snapchat with a filter on it, it's just not gonna work. So I'll insert what pictures I used. I think I put 3 pictures on there. I use my own pictures, and I put my location in Miami, which is not where I live. Just make sure you have good pictures. If you don't have good pictures, nobody's gonna be hitting you up. You look put together and you look like you have money yourself. A couple $100s to you feels like nothing because you already have money. You already live a certain type of lifestyle. If your pictures don't look good, and then on top of that, you can see your crappy apartment or something like that, they're gonna be able to tell. Then you have to write your bio stuff. My first bio worked, but only to an extent because it was like pretty generic. It was something along the lines of, I like the finer things in life, I like to be spoiled, I like hair, makeup, shopping, travel. My second profile I made like a little more specific per my sister's help. Kind of the same vibe, but then I added in that my favorite show is Game of Thrones, and this ended up working. This is how I got the first money. Add something like special about you. It can be true or true-ish. Besides like your location and stuff, you can be yourself. You can be a version of yourself. If you have good pictures and you have a decent bio, guys will start to message you. At first, it's gonna be hard to tell like who's real and who's not, but after you start talking to them, you can tell who's a real person and who's not. If they actually are trying to have a conversation in with you or whatever, like they're probably a real person. The second thing I did was I actually bought a track phone. Here it is. It's cute. You do not need to buy a track phone. You can use a texting app. So basically you just don't want to use your real phone number. So then you start talking to these guys. You obviously want to be yourself, but you also want to be like a bougie version of yourself. These guys are on the sugar daddy site because they have money and they want to spend it. I don't know, you just gotta play the part. Be girly, be feminine, use words like babe and hun, but also don't overuse them. Yes, they're guys on sugar daddy sites, but they're usually not dumb either. Like a lot of the girls go on there and say the same things. It gets to the point where you're talking to them and then you want to have them send you money. That was a tricky part. It took me a couple weeks to actually figure out. It just takes a little practice. Like you're not gonna make an account and log on and some guy is just gonna offer you $200. You're gonna have to talk to these people and ask for money, and the first 5 to 10 times you ask for money, they're probably not gonna send it to you because you didn't ask properly. Also, while we're talking about money, I would use Cash App. You can hook that up to your fake email address and then you can use your fake name on your Cash App. And basically they don't have you like verify anything, so it's really easy to make like a fake profile. So I used Cash App. My first strategy was to ask them for money before giving out my phone number or like my contact, because I didn't want to give it out to just anyone. Kind of worked, but mostly didn't. I actually got my account reported. That actually got me in trouble, so don't do that. But also, you don't want to be just giving your WhatsApp or like your text, even if it's fake. You don't want to be giving it to everyone. Like I would suggest talking to them a little bit on the site first before moving so that you're not giving everybody your contact. When you are choosing someone to talk to, if you have good pictures, you're going to have people messaging you. So you can choose from there, or you can search around and find someone who would be a good type to talk to, a good type to finesse. I did end up messaging a couple guys first because they were in their 60s. I would target, you know, the older the better usually. You can also target guys who look a little nerdy, and what I did, because I knew I was not serious and I was never going to meet them, I chose to target the men who wanted relationships. Those kinds are just a little bit easier to manipulate if they think that they're gonna be in a relationship with you. If you're serious about being a sugar baby though, you're looking for more of like a long-term, like actual arrangement, I'm not sure if it would be best to meet up with a guy who wants to be in a relationship, because then he's gonna try to date you and that might just be a mess. So then I tried giving my phone number, message, and then he would want pictures. If I send you pictures, will you send me a gift in exchange? That didn't work either. The guy feels like they're paying for your pictures. You have to remember, you're not the only sugar baby on this site. Like there's a bunch of them. When you do something fishy, like they're just gonna start talking to the next one. So then I was like, maybe I can message them, then we can move the conversation to WhatsApp and we can message a little more, and then if he asks for a picture, you can send a picture or two or whatever, and then you can ask for money. And by pictures, I mean just a selfie, like nothing bad, nothing sexual, nothing like that, okay? Don't do that. An innocent little selfie. I did that, and then I asked the guy for money for my plane ticket to come back to Miami, and then he like freaked out. Was like, you dropped this bomb on me, just go talk to someone else, blah, 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 blah. Then I had one guy, we exchanged WhatsApp, and he starts sending me videos and pictures, just a bunch of them. Sends me a picture of his dogs in his bed. Sends me this video.
Hey, my beautiful Michigan baby. I hope you come back to Chicago soon. That's my baby Dallas. She's 2.5 years old. And this is a 50-acre church museum campus that is a basic hideaway that nobody ever comes to except for me and a few other people, I guess. But this is I'm not religious, but I like to come here and pray. And this is the Chicago Memorial for my older brother who passed away 10 years ago. And he's buried down in Austin, Texas. And this is where we kind of like to come.
So, you get it. The video went on forever. He's sending me like pictures and videos after barely messaging. Like we had sent like 3 messages and all of a sudden he's blowing up my WhatsApp with videos. In the pictures and videos, I'm like seeing in the background, he does not live in a nice apartment. It's not sugar daddy worthy. And I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's a little And then he was calling me his Michigan baby, and I never said one thing about Michigan, so I don't know if he was confusing me with someone else. And then he asked me to come over and cuddle. That's not what being a sugar baby is about. You don't cuddle. They're paying for your attention. They're paying for your time. They are paying for your presence in their life. You should not have to touch them. And especially don't go over and cuddle with him. But I was like, okay, this guy's like not quite right in the head, so I'm just gonna ask him for money. He offered to pay me like $1,500 just to come over and cuddle. So I was like, okay, great. Can you send me some of that up front? Then he just like went off. So then we kind of went back and forth a little bit. I was just like, okay, I'm not like gonna argue with this guy. He's like not quite there. If one of these sugar daddy guys shoots you down for your asking for money or whatever, you can kind of try to talk your way out of it a little bit. But when it gets to a certain point, like it's not worth your time to argue with these guys. Like just go on the site and find someone else. There's always another sugar daddy, I promise you. Cut your losses and move on to the next one. We went back and forth a little bit, and then I was like, okay, let's not. Then what he did, took that as his cue to send me a perverted video. After that, I was like, I'm done. Then the next day, I get a WhatsApp message from a guy that I had already talked to a little bit. I hadn't asked him for money yet. And I was like, well, I guess I can try. He had told me that he has daughters that were actually older than me. So he's trying to date someone who is younger than his daughters. If you like think being a sugar baby, like you feel bad to do it, oh, this guy sent me money and now I feel guilty, just don't. The majority of these guys have money to blow. They would always do something that would make me not feel bad for them. So anyway, he messages me and we start talking. In a prior conversation, he mentioned Game of Thrones because I had that in my profile. He said something about some sort of like fantasy about me dressing up as Daenerys Targaryen. At the time, I was just like, oh, let's not move too fast. But I remembered that. Oh my god. By the way, this guy had sent me a selfie of him like shirtless. I have PTSD. I told him that I was going for a run. He said, what did you wear? I bet you would rock a pair of Lulus. And I said, how did you know I was wearing Lulus? You know what else I would look good in, babe? He said, anything you wear. And I said, ha ha ha, true. But I couldn't help myself. I had to go look. And I found this like Daenerys Targaryen little outfit. So I sent him a picture of it. I said, I love it. Do you? And then he said, yes. The shipping takes 2 weeks. Could you buy it for me now so it's here in time? And he said, you are amazing. And I said, will you buy it for me, babe? And he said, yes, I will. OMG, you're the best. So then I gave him my Cash App, and then he sent me $125 for this outfit. Don't just like straight up ask for money. Like, will you send me money? Listen to what they say. Make note of what they say. And when they have like a weak spot, let it go, continue the conversation, and then maybe like the next day or whatever. And instead of asking for money, ask for them to pay for this thing that relates specifically to them. And I obviously did not buy the Daenerys outfit. I just put the money in my bank account. Make it around the $100 to $150 range. $150 or $100 should be nothing to them. I was messaging this other guy and I asked him to buy me a gift because we had been messaging a little bit. He just said, I'd like to wait till we are a little more committed in our relationship. So then I just left it, continued the conversation, and then I think like a few days later, I told him that I was sick. He was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then I was like, you know what would really cheer me up? And he's like, what? And I was like, if you could buy me some soup and other goodies, that would just really cheer me up, babe. I also had another guy. Oh my gosh. So he's like 66 years old. He didn't want to talk on WhatsApp, so I actually ended up texting him. Our first conversation on Seeking, I was telling him I live part-time in Miami, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh my gosh, I go down there for a vacation. And he's like, we should go on vacation together. I'll pay for your condo, because I told him I sublease a condo down there. He's like, I'll pay for all your condo, I'll pay for your car, I'll pay for everything. This was another one that wanted a relationship. He thinks he's gonna date me. I was like, all right, I'll use my track phone text on him. And this guy is another one with a screw loose. He started sending me novels. Actually, let me just read you one. We were talking one night, and this was before I had asked him for money. We hadn't been talking that long. We said good night. So I'm like going to bed. All of a sudden, I get this super long message from him. The last bit of wisdom for green eyes. He was calling me green eyes. This is in caps. The low-grade fever hoax means the really important testing is being ignored. And then he goes on to say in normal writing, the gross amount of money that is being spent on testing a low-grade fever makes me want to puke all over the state of California, and I could do just that. Look at all the really critical testing that is being ignored. Okay, everybody is PO'd at China because the low-grade fever started there, so we got a simple solution: nuke them. We'd create a whole bunch of new jobs. We'll get our aircraft back flying. The missile complex will be back in business, and yeah, it'll probably take about 300 nukes, but let's make sure this doesn't happen again. We'll show them how to get rid of a low-grade fever. Like they say, put out a fire with the fire. An eye for a nose and a tonsil for a pound of belly button lint. Let the military-industrial complex rise again, I say. Hail to the metal workers, the nuclear physicists, the proton manipulators, the non-fake news outlets. Hail to them all. At the same time, stop the waste of billions on the stupid stick-up-your-nose test until it punctures your brains and makes you want to die and pass out from endless pain and perforated inner ear that bleeds. I mean, okay, so a guy has 100.1 degree temperature, so shoot me, twice. Look at what's happening in the meantime. Take my wife, please. The real diseases that need to be tested for are not even mentioned in the papers. If I have to go buy a bottle of scotch to get over this, I will, because I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. I have now read 90 days of newspapers from over 75 cities in this country, as well as countries of Gaza, Iran, Mongolia, Lake Titicaca, Upper and Lower Mesothelioma, and Rio de Janeiro. Not one of these countries' newspapers has addressed the pressing problem that you, my good friends and audience, and I face every single day. Where is the testing for syphilis? Why are gonorrhea victims walking around untested? Is that putrid smell coming from our DICKS to be left in the garbage? What about sexually transmitted diseases like beriberi, rickets, scurvy, lumbago, Transylvania, and other plagues, let alone pimples and dingleberries caused by unexpelled flatus majoris? It's a curse, I tell you, it's a curse. Where is Svengoolie when we need him? And it eludes no one that an electron microscope picture of this low-grade fever thing shows that there is a round ball with crosses stuck all over. Yes, the very crosses that bore the likeness of the sacrificed Jew. That was the message he sent me, you guys. So when I say don't feel bad for these sugar daddies, really just don't. Because that guy was 66 years old. He thought he was going to date a 26-year-old. According to him, we need to nuke China. And then he's worried about the untested gonorrhea patients over the coronavirus, which, I'm sorry, but gonorrhea, I'm pretty sure you can get rid of that with antibiotics. They always do something that it's like, okay, I don't feel bad for you. I read that message and I was like, oh my gosh, who let grandpa have a phone? Who let him have access to the internet to get on Seeking in the first place? Like, whoever let grandpa get a phone needs to be jailed. Jail. And that wasn't the only super long message he sent me. He sent me other ones. He sent me one that was like super perverted. So then I was like, he like kept trying to talk to me and kept texting me. I was ignoring him, so then eventually he stopped. If you're gonna try to be a sugar baby, you're definitely going to come across some whack jobs, that's for sure. I don't know, guys, that was my sugar baby experience. I wasn't really actually a real sugar baby. I'm probably not gonna do it again. But if you're new to being a sugar baby or you're interested, I hope that this video helped you a little bit. I'm gonna quit talking now. I've been talking for like an hour straight. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, make sure to subscribe to my channel, ring the bell so you get notifications every time I post a video, and like this video. And otherwise, I will see you in my next video. Bye.